Welcome to the 100th episode of the Furlo Capital Real Estate Podcast. Yep, where we dive into the intricacies of passive real estate investing. And our mission for the 100th time is to equip people to invest wisely in both property and people so that together we can build wealth while improving housing. I'm James, and for the 100th time, this is my wife, Jessie.
Yay, 100. Yeah. 100 seems like one of those numbers that's like, that's a lot. It's not a lot. It's like, you know, in certain contexts, it's like, ooh, that's a lot. Like $100 to a kid is like, whoa, that's a lot. But like $100 to us is like, eh.
I mean, I'll take it.
I'll take it, but
I wouldn't say no to $100.
It's like, okay, yeah, that's good. That's all right.
Yeah, no, that's true.
So like 100 podcasts, is that like, whoa, that's cool, you did a lot? Or is that like, oh, all right, we're getting there?
I haven't seen the stats recently, so I'm not going to, don't quote me on this, but it's something like if you do more than 10 episodes, you're like top 5%.
Wow.
Yeah. Most
of like all podcasters?
Yeah. Most of them, they started up. They do a handful of them and then just never start. It's a very, very, very long tail. But yeah, so I would imagine to even just getting to 100 is a feat in and of itself.
Yeah, I guess I see a lot of podcasts that have, it's almost like they wanted to create a series. And so they created that. And so there's like 20 to 30 episodes, but then it's like, that's it. They didn't keep going. So it's less of a talk show and more of like a class, I guess.
Yeah, I think that's even rarer than the one I'm talking about. Oh, yeah.
Interesting.
I see stuff get started all the time and then
it just goes away.
Which is fine. No, we're here.
Try different things.
I also am a big believer in that idea of like do 100 reps, do something. Yeah. Like you got to just get your reps in. You got to practice it. It's something we're talking about with our kids.
Yep.
And here we are. Here we are. Now I can actually start caring about the stats because before then it was just about finding our voice. But here we are, 100. So here's what I did. Mm-hmm. I went back and looked at the previous 99 episodes.
Whoa.
And picked one from each, I guess we'll call it decade, that I wanted to talk about.
Okay, one from each group. I was like, how long have we been doing this?
Yeah. No, like 1 through 10, 11 to 20.
Each 10Z.
It's a decade, right?
I mean, a decade refers to years, I feel like.
Are you sure?
Yeah.
Is that true?
Otherwise, like, okay, a group of 10 is just like.
What is that?
Well,
each
a dozen is a group of 12.
I agree with you that most of the time it is used.
We
when
use
people are
it
talking
to apply
about years, but I'm pretty certain. So, like for example, if someone says, "Hey, I'm going on a century bike ride," that's talking about distance. That's not talking about time.
All right, I'll give it to you. So, highlight from each decade.
Each decade, yes. So I got them. So the first one is from episode 3.
1, 2, 3.
Where we talked about buying Columbus and the journey begins. That. Plus, we shared all the numbers in that episode. Yeah. Man. Do you remember what you did on that very first night?
I cried.
Cried? Yeah, that's right.
We ate mac and cheese and I cried.
Yeah. Because we were going around and we were just like, oh my gosh, we bought a dump. And I'm like, I know, isn't this great?
I was like, I can't do it.
Yeah.
Well, and we had planned to live in it too. So it was like, oh my gosh, we're going to live here. And it's really dumpy.
Yeah. And it was crazy because we decided to fix up the side we were living in because the people on the other side were moving out. And then we moved over. Then we did some quick cleaning, moved over to the other side. And our very first tenants were horrible.
Yep.
And we learned a lot.
We did learn a lot.
In a negative sense. It was a school of hard knocks.
Yeah.
But it was good ultimately because we were like, oh, we can't just make this up. Like we actually have to have a plan in place. Yep. So it was good.
Oh,
episode number 12.
Okay.
We talked about the 3 powerful Seth Godin principles for shaping your investor mindset. That was back when I had that daily calendar for Seth Godin. And I had picked 3 of the daily things.
All right. I remember the daily calendar. I don't remember what the points were.
So we talked about cost versus price.
Okay.
Was the first idea.
Sure.
That idea of like, there are 2 different things, but it's important to keep in mind. And there are hidden costs, part of real estate. And then we talked about stretching boundaries.
All right.
And his idea was like in order to not break, you got to stretch. And his thing was like, it's going to be tiring. It could be painful, but like you can get better each time. So it was like talking about stretching yourself. And I made the point in that podcast of like, hey, if you're listening to this, you're stretching right now, improving. So good job. You're still going. And then the last one was fairness in fairness in investing
Mm.
was his sort of concept where it's not just about the dollars and cents. There's other things to look at for it. Yeah.
Those are points of wisdom.
Which is what he's good at.
Huh.
That like wisdom-y.
You think you're going to get another, you don't have a calendar right now of like a daily wisdom thing, right?
No.
Oh.
I don't know. I don't need one.
Maybe next year?
It's weird. There's definitely, the daily calendars are interesting, but there definitely comes a point in time where you're like, this feels like a chore rather than fun.
I have one that it's like a recurring one. It doesn't have the year on it. It's just like the date.
Day of the month.
Yeah, the month and the date. And I just like, I get behind. And so then when I go, I just flip to whatever the day I'm on. I'm like, you know what? Whatever.
That works.
I'm going to skip
For
all the
tear-off
things.
ones,
For tear-off ones, that's like,
do. You're
oh,
like,
I'm
I'm
going to
really just
miss it. I can't go back.
Yeah.
Although the Far Side one was highly entertaining. That was a couple years ago.
I don't remember the Far Side one, but you're probably right.
Yeah, it was like a Far Side comic a day. So good.
It sounds great. That must have been yours, not mine.
No, I think it was yours.
No, I had an Office Quotes one.
Office Quotes.
Maybe I did have a Far Side one. I don't remember.
I don't know.
Whatever. They're fun.
Anyways.
They're cool. Number 21, episode 21, we were talking about the 1031 exchange, and we were going over key terms and practical steps for normal people.
Yes,
was what
like
that
me.
was. And what we did was we bought 2 duplexes and a single family home, then more stuff. And then later on, we 1031'd those into a set of warehouses.
Right.
And you have up legs and down legs and crazy legs and no, there's no crazy legs, but there's just there's some subtleties there and some really important time frames that matter.
Yeah. And the premise of a 1031 is you're selling and buying something in the same transaction.
Correct. In order to,
and it has to,
why?
Well, you're exchanging your equity because that essentially you're putting that value into something bigger or more valuable.
There's a big reason why you would do it. It starts
taxes?
with T. Yes.
Because you're like deferring the income kind of because you're rolling it into this other investment.
Yeah, usually you have to do either capital gains or depreciation recapture. Yeah. And this essentially lets you roll those
into this next thing.
A new property.
Sure.
Yeah. And so your basis is lower. So if you ever do sell that next one, it's like, oh man, look out. But yeah, it allows you, you can just roll more into it and in theory get higher returns from putting more money into it. All sorts of good stuff happens.
That was a highlight.
Yeah, that was a good one.
Yeah.
Check it out. Episode 21. Episode 38. Okay, we're getting there. We talked about...
Every time you look at me like, I'm going to know what the episode is.
What was 38?
I have no idea.
Yeah, no, this one was the fixer-upper we didn't fix.
Ooh, yep. I remember that. First Ave. First Avenue.
Shocker here, a lot of my highlights are going to be deals that we actually did. Yeah, yeah, we used to joke about that. We bought a fixer-upper and then didn't fix her up. That was our place on First Avenue. So it was duplex, single-family home. It was that single-family home that we were talking about there. And that was like, man, I still remember we were there at Red Robin having dinner. It was all pre-kids. And we're those weirdos who, when we were waiting for our food to come, we were just scrolling through Zillow looking at listings because, again, we're weirdos.
Look for deals.
And this house popped up. And I remember I saw the picture of it, and it just looked like a piece of garbage. It had like moss all over the roof, Pepto-Bismol siding, shag carpet, wooden windows. Like, it was bad. And I was like, oh, looks like a dump. And you were like, yeah, but look at the price. I was like, yeah, I know, but look at the pictures. And you're like, but look at the price. And so we agreed. After dinner, we drove by, and kid you not, there's a homeless dude in the front yard. And I was like, all right, I think we've seen enough here. And you're like, I know, let's call our broker. I was like, what? That's like,
it was a flip flop.
From the girl who was crying that first time to like, I'm like, oh my gosh.
Oh yeah. We would definitely had a role reversal on that deal.
Yeah.
Where I was like, but look at like the numbers are so great. There's such an upside. And I was like, it is the dumpiest house like on the street. So that's great.
Yeah, because it was listed for $60,000 and
it's like ridiculous.
Normally would have been like $120,000.
Yeah. Yeah.
It was like, it was
It's
half off.
half off.
And it was just because of the size and where it was located.
Yep.
You couldn't qualify for an FHA loan,
Mm-hmm.
and flippers just weren't that interested in it.
Right.
So it was this weird tweener space. So we walked in, just conventional, no questions asked, no contingencies, and just bought it. And that actually worked out really, really well.
Yep.
And
honestly, it was a cute house. Like I thought it was a cute house. It had character.
Yeah.
It had like built-ins
yeah.
and like it was super quirky in different ways.
Yeah.
But it was cute. And it was like at the time, pre-kids, it was the right size for us. You know, I think it was a 2-1.
Yeah.
And then it had like this upper.
My office was
weird-
in the living room.
Yeah.
And then once we had our first kid, it felt
got tight,
tighter.
yeah.
And then it was when we were pregnant with Samson. That's when we were like,
We're
time to
like,
upgrade.
okay, we can't
So we
make
moved
this
out.
work anymore.
Yeah, turned it into a rental, and then like I said, we 1031'd it into something else. Sold it for $260.
Yeah.
At the time. So yeah, that was a good deal.
Oh, that is a highlight.
Yeah, that was fun. Episode 42.
Hey.
Right, and the title of this one was "Don't Panic: The Hitchhiker's Guide to Passive Investing." So I just celebrated my 42nd birthday, and I've had a few people already asking me like, "So, what's the meaning of life?" I'm like, "Hey, I got all year to figure this out," and so I'm gonna take it on. I don't know if I have I got a couple potential thoughts and answers for it.
That's awesome.
But yeah, it was kind of fun because we connected a bunch of the sci-fi humor to Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy. It talks about having a towel and universal translator, not the universal translator. It's got the Babelfish and all those things. And yeah, just kind of fun.
Can I make a confession?
Sure.
I have never actually read that book.
But you've seen the movie, right?
Yeah.
Which movie follows
Does
pretty
it
close.
follow pretty closely?
Yeah, there's multiple movies to it.
I think I've seen the movie.
The latest one was.
Yeah. I've seen the movie.
It's good.
Oh,
Yeah, it was kind of fun. That was in my reading classic books year. We're listening to classic books year. Where like Christmas Carol was on there.
Would you recommend reading it?
It's weird.
That's how I feel about the movie. I'm like, it's weird.
The book's just as weird.
Okay.
It's fun. I mean, it's
yeah, whatever.
it's fun.
It's sci-fi.
yeah. Yeah.
Huh.
It's
There you
it's weird. So I'm trying to like.
What word am I thinking of? Weird. It's just weird.
There's just a bunch of stuff that goes on. It's all loosely connected, but it also isn't necessarily like there's this overarching grand story that's connecting everything together.
Yep.
It's just kind of you're on an adventure. It's more important that they're having like to make weird things happen than for you to get done and go, wow, there was amazing growth.
Okay.
And,
yeah.
like there's no heroes circle, whatever. It's just a fun little adventure.
All right.
So yeah, so that was the first half
Aw.
half century there,
Century.
if you will. Yeah, and then in episode 52, we talked about the From Slumlord to Success, the 11-unit turnaround.
Ooh, yep. Yep.
Yeah. So that's
That's
the
a good
I like
one.
to share because I always try to go for the shock factor of, we bought this 11-unit apartment building. It was 50% occupied and 100% of the occupants were sex offenders. And the guy who bought it was losing money on the property, and so it was slowly turning into disrepair. And he himself was like, I become a slumlord. I don't want this. I want out. And so he sold it. And it was actually because we had been talking to other investors that they knew people who knew people who knew this guy, who then connected us with him. It was our first truly like off-market
Did he have it
deal.
listed?
Nope.
He was like, I can't list it. No one's gonna buy this.
That was his thing. He was calling me to help, like to hire me as a property manager to turn it
that's
around.
right. To get it ready to list and sell.
And I asked him at the time, I was like, well, what are your goals? What do you want to do with this? And he's like, I just want to fix it up and sell it. And I was like, well, what if you just sell it?
What if you sell it?
And so that was what we did.
Mm-hmm.
And
Our roles switched back
deal.
on that one. I remember walking through and you were just like, yes. Each new thing we saw, I was just like, oh my gosh, I think we're done.
So the first unit had bed bugs. The second unit had mold from an exposed sewer pipe. The third unit, you couldn't see out the windows because there was so much nicotine in the room.
Smoking.
The fourth unit was rented out to the Department of Corrections for people getting out of jail for a sex offense. So it kind of smelled like a men's locker room. Then the fifth unit had cat urine, which I always like the joke that cat urine is the smell of money. And by then I was just like, yes, that's awesome.
Yeah.
And that was just the bottom half. Actually, the top half wasn't as bad.
It wasn't as
but
bad.
It
but
was.
there were some funky layouts, and
It was a project.
that was definitely a project.
It we found new homes for everyone, and actually, honestly, it's a great story. I highly recommend it. 52, listening to it because we learned a lot. We did a lot of good things. They all landed in good spots too, so it turned out really, really well. That was a great one. Episode 61. Oh man, how one property manager defrauded an HOA out of $75,000.
I remember that one.
Oh my gosh! And this was a property manager who I was looking at an investment. And I was considering hiring him at one point. And I just remember at the time, while talking to him, being like, man, something's off. Like, this just doesn't feel right.
Right. Yeah.
And it turns out that he was causing all sorts of problems. He was representing himself in ways that he wasn't.
Yeah.
And was doing some really sleazy, probably illegal stuff. But because his offices were located in Washington and he was working in Oregon, it suddenly fell into a federal thing. And which I don't know. I haven't followed him. I have zero desire to find out what's going on with that. But we actually did a previous episode talking about that property, and I mentioned that property manager, and it was this person reached out to me to say, hey, you need to watch out for him.
Yeah.
And so, and then the second half of that episode, we go into like, okay, well, how do you know if someone's a good property manager or not?
Yep.
And I've actually shared that episode with a few people who want to hire me as a client.
Right.
Like,
here's how to evaluate this.
The second half's really good, but the first half is kind of the setup, like why this is important.
Yeah.
Why you want to care about it. Yeah, that was a good one. Number 8, or episode 80, I should say. What my 10-year-old thinks about building wealth through real estate. So
was that the one you did with her?
I did with Eleanor.
That's funny.
She sat in for you.
Yeah,
I think
I was sick or
something. That sounds about right.
Yeah.
And I just I asked her all sorts of questions about what her dream house would be, what she thinks that I do for a living.
You gotta get Samson on here.
He said he wasn't interested. And so I decided not to push it. But I should make that happen.
Oh, yeah.
That'd be fun.
I mean, if he gets to wear like a cool outfit or something, he'd be into that.
He might be into that. Yeah, he does like to dress up.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and I think once you kind of like, once you start going, you just kind of forget that all this stuff is here and it's okay.
Yeah, you're just having a conversation.
But yeah, no, it was really nice, and I have had who was I talking to? This was very recent. I was talking to someone, and he was asking about how you teach your kids about real estate and investing or business in general. Man, what was I don't remember the context of it.
Lots of people ask that. So
yeah, and at the time,
question.
My answer was like, well, for us, it's really easy because I live this life. I can bring them along with me. Like in the summer times, they come with me. We talk about it. They know about the concepts. Like, when we tell them, and it might just be like, when we tell them how many units that we own and manage, they're like, okay, cool, whatever. Like,
right.
It's like, we'll talk to other kids about it and they'll be like, what? We're like, yeah, no, for us, it's normal. But the kids go with me, they see it.
Well, they say things like, oh, my dad's at one of the properties. And they're like, one of the properties? What do you mean? Like, don't you just have a house? It's like, well, no. Like, manage a bunch of other places.
But that's like, you just got to steep them in the concepts. And we play like the cash flow board game with them. And eventually we'll upgrade to the real one. Yeah. And it'll be fantastic. But so those are just some of the ways that we let them know. Yeah. Here's what's going on.
I love too that like they pitch in sometimes. They put in some sweat equity.
Yeah.
Because it's like, this property needs to be cleaned. The cleaner couldn't get in. We're going to go take care of it. And it's like, come on, let's go.
Yeah, we did that. Was that it was the beginning part of this year, I think. Yeah, we had to go
remove some junk or
turn a property. But we had to do the final cleaning.
Oh, yeah.
That's right.
Yeah, we did that one.
I was like, come on, guys, let's all go.
Yeah,
it helped. It was great. It was cool. Episode 89.
Getting there.
Oh, I hate this one. How to buy a property for $1 and still lose money.
So sad.
It still hurts. It's good. But yeah, this was a mobile home that we bought.
So much potential.
For $1. Then we put a bunch of money into fixing it up. And then we couldn't sell it right away. And the holding costs, we ended up just losing money on it.
Yeah.
It was super frustrating. But I didn't lose any investor money because I used all my own. But still super lame.
Yeah.
So that happens. yeah, there's reasons for it, and
Yeah.
we're trying to do things to not have that happen again.
Yeah.
Essentially just makes us more conservative, which means we have to say no to more deals,
Mm.
but I am okay with that.
Yeah.
Because it really wasn't fun losing money.
Yeah.
And then episode 94, a recent one, how I purchased the tallest building in Oregon, east of the
Hey.
Cascades. So this was really more of a review of
the highlights
past
are
purchases.
all of our deals. All
'cause
the
those
purchases.
Those are the fun episodes. Honestly, they're fun episodes.
They are fun.
I highly recommend them. But yeah, if you haven't listened to that one recently, it's awesome. The way that we financed it was highly, it was pretty creative. Not the most creative deal I've ever done, but pretty creative.
Yeah.
And it's in Baker City, and it's awesome. And I'm currently in the process of making the website for it so that people can reserve the ballroom, because there's a ballroom.
Woohoo.
And
Yeah,
future
if you're planning an
vacation
event.
rental, and
Pretty cool.
if you want to rent an office space or live there, there's a lot of stuff going on in that property. It's super
It's very
fun.
cool.
It's a syndication, so it's myself and a whole bunch of other owners have it, but I run it for all of them, and so they don't have to worry about it.
Yeah.
And and then
It is super intriguing to me, like stepping back and just seeing like those highlights throughout the year. You do learn a lot through like storytelling or like living or seeing somebody else's experience, and then like, I don't know, just hearing the nuances of what they did, what they maybe learned from, what they shouldn't have done, what they would do next time. And so that,
yeah,
maybe we could do like a little offshoot or like a focus thing on like, you know, getting other people in here being like, what was a deal that you learned from? What did you learn?
Yeah, all right. I like this.
You
We
know.
could have a little on-air meeting in terms of what
Some brainstorming.
brainstorming.
I find it interesting. Like, yeah, all of those episodes, they had some context. They had learning involved. There were definitely numbers, analysis, like all the concepts. And you need the concept episodes too, because it balances out. It goes deeper. Then you see how it's applied.
Yeah.
But it's interesting to me. Like, okay, what if we had a concept, of like, well, we want to focus in on 1031s again. Who's done that in a different context than we've done it? Like, can they come and tell their story?
Oh, interesting.
Or perhaps they just submit it and then we read it, or I don't know.
Oh.
It's better if they come and tell it, but
Yeah. All right. Well, I will.
it's interesting to me.
Yeah, I think
Just
that's
popped
something
into my head.
that we're going to be thinking about
Yeah.
as we're rolling into next year. What do the next 100 look like?
Man, yeah, I'm like, I just go right to that. I'm like, yeah, we did the 100.
Yeah.
Where are we headed next?
What's
That's unusual. Here's another role flip, I guess.
Yeah, right.
It's not typically me.
I like it. No, it's good. Yeah, no, it's good. I like it. Yeah, I think it was a good 100. I feel like
Good 100.
it was again, I was less worried about like the stats behind it and just more of the, hey, let's get into this cadence. Let's prove that we can do it. I feel like we've done that, which is good. But yeah, now that question is, how do we take it to the next level? If you've got ideas, we're open to it. I know one of the things that I'm trying to think about, like you were talking about, the stories. I've been doing some research recently, and stories are one of the ways that you change mindsets behind people. It's very rare that you can just logic people into it.
can see
It's
that.
through the stories you hit that emotional connection. Because I know that I'm just gonna throw this out here without a solution. I know that oftentimes, like the person, you who's listening to this podcast, you are interested, and the other, like your significant other, is usually less interested.
Sure.
And the question is, how do you not drag them along, but how do you bring them along? And so I'm trying to think through, what does that look like? How is there a way for us to help in that process as well? And one of the things I've learned just in my initial research is like, no, stories are the things that are convincing, or it just helps with a mindset shift. Yeah. And so anyways, that's something I'm thinking about as well. But I like your idea too of maybe getting some more people in and hearing their stories. Could be cool. I like it.
That'd be cool.
So 100. It's cool. Thank you so much for listening. If you've caught all 100, gold star to you. Good job.
Ooh, maybe giveaways.
Ooh, yeah. We
That's
could do a
another cool
giveaway.
thing for podcasts.
Could do giveaways. That is a thing, huh? Okay. All right.
Ooh.
Giveaways. I like it. I don't think they'll do I don't foresee a lot of like solo episode type of stuff, where it's just me talking. I do like the dynamic between you and I.
Yeah.
But who knows, if you're sick, the kids want to come on with me, I might. But
Chuck seems pretty interested in the podcast.
Oh my gosh, yes.
You could interview him.
Man, after last week's debacle, we locked him in the house. We're like, nope, he's not allowed out here.
How does a crazy lab puppy teach you about real estate?
Oh my word, that's
no pets.
Not a horrible idea. Yeah, but no, we're gonna keep going.
Anyways.
That's mainly the plan. Is we're gonna keep going.
Yeah.
I know I'm enjoying doing this. I think what we're producing is good, and
hopefully it's helpful.
Yeah.
To people, and
I think so too.
Yeah.
Yeah. So awesome. So again, thank you so much for listening, for helping us get to 100 episodes and having it not just be me and my editor being the only ones who hear it. So yeah, and if you are interested in investing with us, love to hear from you. You can check us out at our website. It's at furlo.com, and you can learn all about us and read more about these stories. Listen to every single one of these episodes if you want to. So yeah, again, thanks for listening. We truly, truly appreciate it. Have a great day.